August over Brownsville Rivera, 42-7. Hello, everybody. Carlos Roberto here, along with Mike Gonzalez on the Miriam Guerra Allstate Insurance post-game show, and it is a victory for the Weslaco Wildcats. Mike, they need a victory tonight, and they took care of business.
Yeah, Carlos, immediately from the get-go, these guys just stepped onto the field, knew what they had to do. Well, what I'm happy about more than anything, Carlos, is that they came out of this game healthy. Nobody got injured, so they're ready to move on next week.
And the passing game looked good, so did the running game. Let's go to the highlights in this one. We start off in the first quarter, and it was the arm of Richard Lafleur firing right here to Hector Sainz in for the score, and it was 7-0. The Wildcats leading in the first quarter. Tack on another passing pass right there. Another score right there for Weslaco. That was Cardoza with the catch and the run right here. Derek Ibarra down the sideline. 21-0. Wildcats leading at the half. They continue to pour it on with the passing game. Nice touch pass here as Hector Sainz his second touchdown of the game. That made it 28-0. Weslaco East, and they go on to win it once again by a final score of 42-7. On the set now with us is Coach Mike Burgett. And Coach Burgett, congratulations. We talked about just taking care of business tonight against Rivera, riding that momentum from last week. Congratulations.
We didn't play like we did last week, though. I don't know what it was.
It's the weather, maybe a little chilly out here.
No, I mean, this is football weather. You can look at the score and say we played well, but coaches know better. We watched it live. I don't know. We sort of went through the motions tonight. We'll get things fixed. We got Harlingen South next week for homecoming coming in here, and y'all know how I feel about homecoming.
Always a distraction.
Always a distraction.
Hey, Coach, you guys have been through so much this season with the injuries, especially to your key players. You got to feel really good that you came out of this game healthy.
Well, we got a little banged up. We have a kid that got a hip pointer. We'll find out how he is tomorrow. It seems like we can't go through a game without injuries. But, we're not the only team. I've talked to the other coaches. I talked to Manny Gomez, and he's got a middle linebacker, tailback, receiver, O-lineman out. Wesco High's got players out. Everybody's got players out. I mean, it's been that kind of season.
Yeah.
It's been weird, but the players that we have out, and how our team feels about them. They're still our captains. They're still on our sideline. They're up in the bleachers. They're up in the press box. They're still doing everything they can to help our team. I mean, you're talking about great kids. There's Freddie and JC out there waving right now. And I mean, you know how we feel about those guys. They're what made Weslaco East Wildcats what they are.
Coach, talk to me a little bit about Derek Ibarra. He seems to have a little burst of speed there. He got hit right in the middle of one of his runs, but he was able to pick up momentum and go almost for a score.
Derek had a great year last year on JV. He's getting his football legs under him right now, and he had a really good game. Our offensive line, we're clicking a little bit. We had to sit out an offensive lineman tonight. We just held him out. He could have played tonight, but we held him out. He's got a little back injury, and he'll be back next week. And he's our best offensive lineman. I'm not afraid to say that. Mario Trevino he's a sophomore. He's a real good kid, coach's kid. And when he's on the field, we're a completely different team. So we'll get him back next week, and we'll get the old line clicking. Ram, he's our left guard. Ram did a great job. Our center's Kike. Our right tackle is Jose Sanchez, who just played now 2 games. Harlingen in this game. I guess we're not very smart coaches. We're 2-0 with him playing right tackle. And, of course, we got Steely, another sophomore, playing left tackle. So, we don't have very many seniors in there. So we're pretty happy that, our sophomores are growing up. I still like to have seniors, but we got sophomores growing up. And, we got them for 2 more years.
Hey, Coach, this time last year, in this after the post game or after the game, you came out and said, it's time. And, you guys had to win out, the last 3 games to make the playoffs, and then you went to the 3rd round. Was there any kind of, saying or...
Oh, yeah. I mean, we had a video ready to go, but we're not going to do the video. I just hate to point fingers. we have one.
Too deep?
We too deep. And if you want to Google that, you'll see the song. Clemson does it. And we tell our kids, everybody says that Weslaco East is loaded with running backs, and when you lose the 3 individuals we did running the ball, Roy, JC, and gosh darn, Freddie, Freddie, oh, Lord. Sorry about that, Freddie. When you lose those three type of kids, you're talking about kids that can go the distance. And, you know, I've been very happy with Josh as a sophomore. Derek's a senior. We got Randy. If Randy can stay on his feet, Randy's deadly with the ball. We got Carrasco. And now we got JC's brother in there running the ball at the end of the game, the big tank. So we're pretty happy. And then we got a 260-pound running back, our quarterback. You know, we didn't run him very much. Now, I didn't want to run him very much. He's done a lot for us last game, and we sort of gave him the night off on running-wise. But I thought he threw the ball well. I think he had 3 touchdown throws, and we didn't throw the ball very much. But, you know, he's capable of doing a lot for us at quarterback position.
Yeah, he came over from Ben Bolt after his freshman year. He came over here and played his sophomore, junior year. This year, he just seems like a totally different player. Has passed for over 1,000 yards. I know he lost one of his favorite receivers, JC, but Hector Science has picked it up, and so has Jaime Benuelos at wide receiver.
Bones, Bones' parents out there, I want to apologize. I see her. I want to apologize to Hector Science' mom. Boy, did I rip Bones for dropping that ball. And I know you will when he gets home.
It's going to be worse at home.
You know what? Bones has done a lot. I mean, I told you guys the story when he came in as a freshman. I bet he weighed about 90 pounds. He was about 6 foot. You could see through him. And I said, oh, God, what are we going to do with this kid? And I guess he showed me his senior year that he was ready to go. He's got, I don't know, four or five touchdowns on the year. He makes big plays. He catches the ball when we need to. He's not the fastest kid. He's definitely not the strongest, but I'll match him up with anyone in the Valley when it comes to heart size.
Hey, Coach, when we were at practice the other day, and Richard and I were, it was a little bit of joking around, but, you know, it was a serious question. I go, have you thought about where you want to go to school? You want to go to college? And his response was, no comment, because right now I'm just worried about this team and I'm worried about this year. Is it because he plans to go to Kansas State University and he's kind of keeping it on his down low?
You know, if any of these Texans are lucky enough to get into K-State, God bless them.
I thought they'd be going to North Texas. I think that'd be a good school for him.
Yeah, you know what? The kid can play many positions too. Let me just tell you, not only quarterback. He'd be a great tight end wherever they. And you know, Richard, he'll work hard. He's a team player. You know, he's right now the reason we're back in the playoff hunt. And you know, not only his arm, but the guy knows when I signal. The guy knows exactly what to run. And there's been very few kids that know every position. He puts the kids in positions when they don't line up right. And, you know, he's a heck of a leader. And you know what? I'm very fortunate to have him. And, you know, I want to tell you guys, we got a heck of a coaching staff. And I'm talking our assistants put a lot of time in this year. When we had all those injuries, you know, a lot of people came up to us and they'd say, oh, Coach, man, we understand understand what? I mean, our expectations to make the playoffs, our expectation to go as far as we can in the playoffs. And, you know, a lot of people don't believe that right now because we're missing a lot. But we have a lot on that field, and we got kids that bust their butt every day. And our defense, which I'm going to have you guys talk to the 2 defensive ends.
Yes,
I'm going to tell you, our defense is one of the best, if not the best, and down here in South Texas. They keep us in ball games. They don't give up any points. They fly to the ball and they play as 11. And Coach Guzman and Coach Villarreal and Coach Perriman and Coach Pedraza and Coach Salinas and, Coach Segura and Coach Otway, they do a great job on defense. I'm going to tell you, I'm surprised I got all their names correct, by the way. And I'm going to tell you guys, they've done a heck of a job putting our defense in great positions. And these 2 young men coming up, they're 2-year starters, and I think one of them's a 3-year starter. But these kids have paid their price. They're seniors, and they'll tell you they want to go to the playoffs. So they don't want nobody to feel sorry for us. Those kids that got hurt don't want you to feel sorry for them. East football is here, and East football will be here next week. So thank you very much, and thank K-West.
All right. Thank you very much, Coach.
Yes, sir. Congratulations, Coach.
Congratulations, Coach.
Okay.
Good job. Thank you very much. And we'll go ahead and bring on those 2 players he's talking about. Gerald Garza come out on the set, and also Fernie Garza, Fernando Garza, come on over here as well.
Congratulations, guys.
How you guys doing?
Congratulations, guys.
Congratulations. Trying to hold my papers down here with the win. But congratulations, guys, and go ahead and grab a microphone right there. And what has it been like for you guys? It's been one of those years where, you know, you've had to, you know, look deep inside and find something. I know last week it was a difficult game. What's it been like for you guys this year? Gerald, go first.
been crazy with all the things that have been
Yep.
happening to this team and how we had to step it up.
How about you, buddy?
Bernie.
It's been a long season. It's been pretty good. Just keeping up, hard work.
You know, guys, we were talking in the pregame show about the standings, and you guys looked pretty good now, especially because of that win against Harlingen last week. So now, you know, quote unquote, the easier part of the schedule is happening right now. But I'm sure the coaches are still, you know, on top of you guys, and I'm sure they're still making sure that you guys are on your feet and doing what you got to do. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, they never want us to take a team lightly, no matter what, like no matter their record and everything. So we just keep on practicing like we normally do for every other team.
Never let up and keep practicing hard and get ready for the next game.
When you had a couple of players that went down, of course, we've been talking about that. You know, what was your all's mindset? You know, when you had those key injuries, 3 running backs, basically, all 3 running backs, they all go down. How'd you guys stay focused and keep plowing forward?
Oh, well, they're like brothers to us.
Yep.
We're real close, you know, a senior group. And, well, they just kept telling us to play hard and focus on the next game and play it for them and the fans and the coaches.
You know, you guys lost a tough one to Los Fresnos. You know, with all the injuries, you know, your leaders, you know, your big leaders were out. And then you go into Harlingen and get that big-time win. After the game, did you guys feel a sense of, momentum perhaps going forward, and you guys feel a lot better now? I mean, tell us a little bit about that. I mean, what that Harlingen win has done to you guys.
Well, it helped us out a lot, like our confidence boosted up, and now we're like ready to play any team.
With like the 3 that went down, it felt like our offense was clicking again. It felt like we were ready to go, you know.
Yeah, it seemed like y'all had to, you know, gather yourselves a little bit. Like all of a sudden you had to play, you know, another game without one player, and another game, you know, you had 2 players go down. So that Los Fresnos game, it was like, okay, who's going to be our guy on offense? But the defense, you guys kept playing strong, and you could have easily won that Los Fresnos game. And then that Harlingen game, did y'all just feel like maybe a little bit more confident after you beat Harlingen last week?
Yeah, we had that little boost, but, you know, we always got to focus on the next game and never take anyone lightly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Gerald?
absolutely. No, go ahead, Carlos.
What was the confidence like after that Harlingen game?
Well, I mean, it boosted up really high, and we're ready to try and make it into the playoffs this year.
Now that we're nearing November, it's late October, November next week, it's now cooler. How do you guys like playing in this kind of football weather? Is it any different than August, or is it the same? Or tell us, how do y'all feel?
Yeah, it feels good. I like this weather.
Yeah, it feels a lot better, less tiring. It's better.
Guys, you know, you guys have 2 more games left. Harlingen South next week. They haven't won a district game yet. And then you got Hannah. Hannah's actually looking very good this year. And I know you guys don't like to look too far down the road. And they're undefeated right now. They're going to play San Benito tomorrow on Saturday. So what are you guys, focusing on for the next couple of games? Are you still just taking it one game at a time? Next week's homecoming.
Well, we're just gonna take it one game at a time, one little step, and
Right.
see how it goes.
All right.
Yeah, just focus on the next game.
Okay, guys, thank you very much for being here on the post-game show. How about a big hand? We got our guys up here, the Garzas.
Good job, guys.
Gerald and Fernie,
Congratulations.
good job, guys. Congratulations. You guys doing an excellent job. And we'll continue on with this show here. And once again, we had a great game. Some highlights in this one. I mean, it was just a lot of passing, and the running game also looked strong, Mike. And like I said, they just came in here, took care of business. Last week, of course, Weslaco High won big, 72-0. This one, a little bit lower scoring affair, but the Wildcats certainly did what they had to do.
Yeah, and I mean, the offense looked great. The defense looked terrific. Special teams made all their extra points. The kickoff specialist did a great job here. Derek Ibarra is, like Coach Burgett said right now, it just looks like he's getting into varsity shape. His legs are getting under him, and he just looks so much more comfortable. And Richard, being Richard, throwing 3 touchdowns. I believe that's a career high. I don't recall him throwing 3 touchdowns. He either tied it or it's a career high. Regardless, a heck of a night. And then we got number 80, Bones, I believe, right?
Hector Science.
Hector Science, 2 touchdown catches, and one of them was spectacular at the end of the end zone there. And, I mean, just a heck of a job by the Wildcats tonight. And, I mean, they deserve this. And, now they got Harlingen South next week in a big one.
Yeah, Harlingen South will be playing here for homecoming, and then another game for them against Hannah that they'll have to play. How do they stay focused for Harlingen South? Because Harlingen South is, once again, not one of the top teams. They're kind of rebuilding and trying to get themselves together. And how do they keep focused for Harlingen South?
Yeah, that's an excellent point, Carlos. And even though J.C. Vargas and Roy Pedraza and even Freddy Gonzalez are out, this is where their leadership really comes in handy in practice. I mean, they still go to the practices. They still go to the weight room. They still watch film with them. You know, that's where they come in and help the team out. And then Richard Lefevre, being the captain, you know, on the field and off the field, you know, he's going to provide that leadership as well. And so I think they're going to be okay. And when you have a coaching staff like Weslaco East does, that's been there and that's done that, has been in so many big games, they know exactly what to do and what the approach should be. This is, next week is the last home game, so they know that they want to put on a nice show for the Wildcat fans before they go to Brownsville for that finale, which is going to be a huge game.
Yeah, they always seem to find a player, do the Weslaco East Wildcats and that coaching staff. You know, when after one guy graduates, another one steps up. They've been doing this for many, many years. Some scores to pass along. Weslaco right now playing at Harlingen South. They were losing at the half, but right now they are leading 28-25. That game taking place in the fourth quarter. A big game between Los Fresnos and Harlingen, and at this point it is the Falcons leading the fourth quarter 27-20. The last score we got at the Battle of the Reservation between Donna and Donna North, always a big game. Donna was leading at the half. That one was 7-0. And San Benito and Hannah, they play tomorrow night at Sam Stadium. That's going to be a big game, but San Benito is the heavy favorite in this one. San Benito, you know, they're undefeated in district play at 4-0, but they still have to go through San Benito, Harlingen, and Hannah. No, what is the other game? But they got another game that they have to play again. So it's still going to be tough for Hannah. Oh, they got to go play Weslaco East on the final game of the regular season.
Correct.
One of the things that I like that, you know, the Garza said, Gerald and Fernie, what they talked about is they got their brothers. So it's like they're playing inspired ball. They're playing for them at this point.
Yeah, exactly, Carlos. And I mean, that's that brotherhood that's been around Weslaco East for so many years. And a lot of times, you know, when you lose players like Weslaco East has, a lot of teams lose their confidence, they lose their momentum. But, you know, then again, you could do it the other way where, hey, you know, let's do this for our brothers. Let's do this for him, for, you know, that person and that person and that person. And it just seems like everybody as a whole, I mean, starting with Richard Lefevre, but everybody as a whole has stepped it up by 1 or 2, maybe even 3 levels. And it's really paid off these last 2 weeks.
Really like the speed of Derek Ibarra. There was some runs in here that it looked like, you know, he was going to be caught. And not only that, but Ramsey Vasquez as well. He had that return back for a touchdown. Looked like he was going to be caught as well.
Right.
Those two individuals, something to look forward to in the future for Weslaco East.
I'm sure the Wildcat fans remember Saul Cuellar. That's who Derek Ibarra reminds me of, with his speed and quickness, especially when he runs those sweeps, when he runs to the outside. He reminds me of a good old Saul Cuellar who played for the Wildcats in 2012 and 2013, did an outstanding job. And then Ramsey Vasquez here, you know, with a return, a spectacular job, and he's just the next man in line as the utility player. We assume only a sophomore is going to be what J.C. Vargas was doing in the present and what Ciro Riojas used to do a couple of years ago for the Wildcats.
All right, well, we do have a final score, and it is the Panthers winning by a final score of 28-25.
Right.
So a second district victory for Coach Michael Salinas and the Weslaco Panthers. Still looking for a final score here before we sign off between Harlingen and Los Fresnos, and don't have a final score yet in that one, but that, of course, is an important game. Watch the highlights of this game and also Weslaco High later on tonight on our Facebook page and on YouTube for those highlights. So it should be a fun, interesting week for Harlingen, for Weslaco East. They play Harlingen South. It's homecoming week, so a lot of festivities, and of course you'll want to watch our Facebook page and KWS all week long for all the sports and, of course, all the news that's going on here at WISD. All right, a final from this one. It is Weslaco East beating Rivera by a final score of 42-7. For Mike Gonzalez, I'm Carlos Robledo. Thank you for joining us here on the Miriam Guerra Allstate Insurance postgame show.